We are introducing disruptive technologies into industries that profit from status quo. The only thing that will make that happen is a people movement. Major change has never come through institutions in the world, only through people movements. Thanks a lot. Well, so I get to close out by telling the story of the Hope movement. It's my favorite thing to do. It's what I do every day. Get to travel around the country and tell this amazing story. The Hope movement is a social business. I'll tell you a little bit about social business, kind of what makes it work, what our unique position in the social business industry is, and why we have such a sustainable model for such a time as this. Let me just say that social business, first of all, is kind of a unique composition of a few different industries. It's the cash flow, the profitability, the technology base of a for-profit company, combined with the heart, the passion, and the mission of the not-for-profit industry in order to create sustainable solutions to the world's biggest problems. You know, I read a book called How to Change the World, probably the most prolific book written on social entrepreneurship. And in the book, it said, first of all, if you want to be successful, take on the biggest problems. Take on things that no one, has created an effective solution for. Number two, provide an innovative new solution to that problem. In other words, disrupt those that profit from status quo. And then number three, if you can find a creative way of incentivizing we, the people, who become passionate about seeing people's lives change, find a way to compensate them for championing your cause, you can drive your missions to the ends of the earth. So that's what social business is, and that is what we have incorporated into Evolv Help to help meet the demands of our mission, which is eradicating the global impact of a thing called malnutrition. Malnourishment is growing in every country of the world. Where does this problem rank in the world? We know that there's poverty. We know that there's environmental issues. We know there's lack of education. This is the number one cause of disease, death, and disability. You got to move that one to the top of the list. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about aloe vera acemannan. It's nature's most efficacious immune-supporting molecule. And a group of researchers from Southwestern Medical School were hired to break down the aloe vera gel and see what it was that was causing this incredible immune response. Turned out to be a long-chain carbohydrate that they called acemannan. And it's predominantly made up of a sugar called mannose. Once it was discovered, tens of millions of dollars were raised to commercialize this incredible discovery. The first thing that these researchers realized is that, number one, there was already a $5 billion aloe vera product industry, and not one of the products had its active ingredient. Secondly, these were research pharmacologists that realized the potential that this would have in modern healthcare. Because again, the root cause of all that ails us is a malfunctioning immune system. And if you have a molecule in nature that can trigger that response, that is called gold in that industry. First thing they did is they brought out the most efficacious wound care technology the world has ever seen. Then they went into veterinary medicine, and this was approved by the USDA as acemannan immunostimulant and approved for the treatment of fibrosarcoma tumors in dogs and cats. Nobody had ever seen anything like it in medicine, anything like it in nature. Of course, the last goal of Carrington Labs, the big brass ring, was to bring acemannan into the marketplace as a drug for humans. To get a drug approved in the United States, you go through the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. And they have two criteria. Number one, you have to establish its toxicity threshold, because all drugs are toxic and all drugs can kill humans. Big problem. Acemannan's completely non-toxic. The second thing is you have to alter a process of disease biochemistry in some way. Acemannan doesn't alter anything in disease physiology. It has nothing to do. You can put acemannan in a petri dish with cancer cells. It does nothing. What does it do? It activates your body's normal immune functions of defense and repair. And then your body kills the cancer cell. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Well, That's the good news and the bad news, right? The good news is that's the way it works. The bad news is that is not a typical drug effect. So they got denied their application for investigative new drug from the FDA in 1993. Big disappointment. So now it's like, okay, so without drug approval, it will never be classified as what is called standard of care. Without standard of care, doctors can't recommend it to the public for the treatment or mitigation of any disease. Now, are doctors opposed to it? No, of course not. They want their patients to have the best outcomes. So now Carrington couldn't bring the product into the market as a drug. So in 1994, they released a product called Manipul, which was the first stabilized aloe vera extract for integrative health support. And over the next 20 years, I built a company that sold over $3 billion worth of products containing that ingredient. Why? Because it worked. It was just amazing. Next is gut health. Okay, so poor gut health. What's the problem with poor gut health? These cells, called epithelial cells, start breaking down, deteriorating, and bad stuff starts leaking into your body. When epithelial cells start deteriorating, all these gut problems like colitis, Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome are all consistent with a deficiency of short-chain fatty acids. When you feed your friendly bacteria acemannan, it converts into short-chain fatty acids. Short-chain fatty acids help support the growth of healthy epithelial cells that line the gut as well as support overall colonic health. But again, the most desired effect is this benefit, macrophage activation. Macrophages are large white blood cells that are made in the bone marrow. They regulate immunomodulating functions of the immune system. They facilitate wound healing and infection control. They serve to detect and eliminate any foreign antigens or microorganisms that come into the gut. So 70 to 80% of all the macrophages in your body and your immune system is housed in the gut. It is the front line of defense. So when you look at what does that mean, it enhances macrophage activity as much as 10-fold acemannan does. Hey, that's huge. And turning the immune system on. Enhances stem cell production 300 to 400%. Speeds up wound healing 35%. Supports antiviral, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, and antibacterial defenses in the body. It aids the absorption of nutrients and water in the GI tract. Acemannan actually helps you absorb vitamins and minerals. Improves vascular flow. Hey, listen to this. Improves cognitive function. And enhances recovery from exercise and performance. So it's not just for people who are struggling with their health. It's for anybody who wants to improve overall performance. Now, the patent started expiring around 2004, 2005, and other researchers started looking at how can we improve the processing and stabilization of acemannan. And since the major desired effect was immune activation, here's the question that was raised. Which size of these acemannan actually did the best at turning on the immune system? That would be a good thing to know if your objective was to turn on the immune system. And what they found over there on the right is polysaccharides between 4 and 500 kDa exhibit the most potent macrophage activating activity. So, Dr. Santiago Rodriguez said, that's interesting science. So he went to work, and there's Manipul on the left, and this is Evolv Immun. First of all, he doubled the amount of acemannan per gram. Doubled it. So I've known Dr. Rodriguez for a long time. When he came out with that, I said, what are you going to do with that? And he said, we're going to license it to somebody that can take it to the world. We sat down and talked to him about our social business initiative, what we were going to do for making sure that people all over the world could get access to this. But as a result of that, we would feed the world's most vulnerable children this same technology. He loved it, wanted to be a part of it, and he donated the exclusive rights to that technology to the Hope Movement. That's cool. So now we have Evolv Immun, supports structure function, and of course macrophage activation. That's pretty cool. What about the people that aren't sick? Do they need this product? There's kind of a new definition of these people. It's called biohacking. And there's a biohacking revolution that is going on in the world today. And these are people that want their bodies to perform better than they do on their own. Biohacking is achieving your body's maximum potential at a cellular level. And you got to work at doing this. It doesn't just happen by your daily routine. You got to find the molecules in nature that actually trigger responses that go beyond what your body would normally do. So, the main thing that separates biohacking from the rest of self-improvement world is a systems thinking approach to our own biology. If we want better outputs, if we want to have more energy, more focus, to be free of disease, to have better memory, to perform optimally in business and in athletics, then tweak the things that we put into our bodies and stack the deck in our favor. Athletes have been doing this for a long time. You think this guy needs to biohack anything? This is Leroy Burrell, U.S. track and field athlete, who twice set the world record in the 100-meter sprint. So the first time he set the 100-meter record at 9.90 seconds. That is after years of training and maximizing every ounce of energy that he could produce to set a world record. Then he found out about acemannan and began to biohack his body with acemannan for what? Faster recovery, longer workouts, to enhance his body's normal functions, and he set a second world record, 9.85. That's not a lot of difference, but it's the difference between first place and last place in the Olympics. The results were so dramatic with the sprinters. You know, there was Carl Lewis, there was Leroy Burrell, there was all these guys at University of Houston that the coach at University of Houston introduced me to USA track and field. And then we provided acemannan to all of our Olympic athletes. And then Canadian track and field called. That's a little bit of a conflict, right? I mean, on one hand, you're patriotic. On the other hand, you're like, this is business, right? And so we supplied acemannan to the Canadian track and field, and then UK track and field called, and then Australian track and field called. And eventually we were making acemannan products. So world records started all going up all over the world. It was good. Anyway, that's what biohacking is all about. Next. Okay, so from a distribution mechanism, what we had to do is find the most aggressive form of customer acquisition, because social business is all about connecting consumers with children in need. That's what it is. Buy one, give one. That's what we do. So we need the most aggressive customer acquisition program that exists in the marketplace today. It's called affiliate marketing. It was perfected by this company called Amazon. I mean, Amazon launches this whole thing about trying to change people's buying habits from going to brick and mortar stores to going online and buying. But they had to have people that would go out into the marketplace and pull people towards Amazon. They are called affiliates. And it worked. Look at what Amazon is doing today. We developed an incredibly aggressive compensation plan for our affiliates. Customer acquisition, our affiliates get compensated 10 to 40%. That's unheard of in affiliate marketing, first-time buyers. And we have a retention program of 10 to 20%. So our affiliate program got expanded just a bit because we needed to in order to connect with the people that have the closest relationship with our ideal customers. Our ideal customers are still those 60% of the people who are struggling for quality of life. They see the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time. Well, those are healthcare professionals, those are chiropractors, those are massage therapists, those are exercise physiologists, those are trainers, those are gym owners, those are all these people. So in our affiliate program, we did incorporate a point of sale. Fundraising, I'm telling you guys, we're going to radically change that industry through not only providing products that bring quality, but providing them with an e-commerce site for their customer base to buy into on an ongoing basis. Finally, affiliate e-commerce sites for either the point of sale people or fundraising opportunities to have access to their customer base for ongoing sustainable revenue streams. So that's the most aggressive form of customer acquisition. What's the most aggressive form of social business? Well, according to this book by David Bornstein, Social Business Entrepreneurship, What Everybody Needs to Know, he talked about the evolution of the model going through 1.0, 2.0, but listen to this definition of 3.0. 3.0 will be concerned with building platforms that enable more people to participate and profit from social business by building teams and teams of teams to facilitate the rapid circulation and sharing of solutions at a global level. Why is that so powerful? Because major change has never come through institutions in the world, only through people movements. It goes right back to the very core, guys. We are introducing disruptive technologies into industries that profit from status quo. The only thing that will make that happen is a people movement. It is the only thing that can get this technology into the marketplace. And for those of you that choose to be social business partners, you're going to help us build teams and teams of teams that can rapidly circulate the solution that literally hundreds of millions of people are desperately looking for just to live a quality of life that they deserve. And then last but not least is what happens to the kids. I've seen it all. You cannot imagine the impact that we make on kids who have no access to good nutrition, who have no access to medicine. You've heard me tell the story of Romania. You know, kids were dying, 30, 40 kids a year in this one organization. We intervened with acemannan, and for the first time in over a decade, not one child died. I got to tell you something, folks, that'll change your life. You want to define life of significance? Tap into what we get to do. Find out how what we get to do every day blesses the needs of kids who, without our intervention, would have no hope at all to a quality of life. And we get to do this all over the world. Now, social business is the only solution to the global impact of childhood malnutrition. It will never be done through the government. It will never be done through charity. There's only one solution for bringing the best technology into the marketplace for these kids. It is social business. Everybody has to do something to make a living, guys. We are blessed beyond belief to be able to do this. Thank you.